Hey Leo, this is your look at the astrology of January 2021. It's your video scope. My name is Katie Sweetman with Empowering Astrology. Normally we do this written, but this year we are moving everything, well, not everything, just the monthly looks to video. So let's look at the astrology of January 2021 for you, Leo. You're in a bit of a spot this month. Now, let's sort of recap because a month is never a standalone thing in astrology. It's actually part of a bigger story. So, before we began this month on December 17th, Saturn left Capricorn, where it was since the start of 2018, and it went into Aquarius. And you're thinking, but I'm a Leo, Katie, why are we talking about Aquarius? So Aquarius is your opposite sign, meaning it's a sign that is exactly on the other side of the zodiac from you. Opposite is not bad, but it is, or not but and it is your relationship sign. So now that Saturn is in Aquarius, Saturn is saying it is time for relationship. And maybe you're thinking, I'm in a relationship, or what does this mean? So Saturn is this planet in astrology that wants equity, balance. It wants connection, it wants interaction, it wants socialization, and also wants commitment. So Saturn is a serious planet and it's now in relationships. So you've just entered a two-year chapter about maybe there being a serious relationship in your life. Or if you're in a relationship, it's like the next milestone. Perhaps you move in together, perhaps you get married, perhaps you make other sort of significant commitments to each other. If you are in a relationship, you now have to look at that relationship with new eyes. Saturn is like the building inspector. How are things holding up? And if things are shaky, Saturn's going to really start to show you where things are shaky in your relationship. That said, not to get too ahead of myself, it is Capricorn season for most of this month. The sun is in your sign of work and health and organization and sort of that day-to-day routine stuff. So you're going into a new year, and it's very much perfect for the sort of resolutions that we all make for ourselves at this time. So you're sort of looking at how you take care of your body, how you organize your life, sort of the schedule that you keep. And it's like, okay, where can I make some positive, lasting, healthy changes? Because Saturn rules Capricorn, that's why I mentioned Saturn, wants balance in your life. So what is not in balance? You have to sort of create that balance. Now, do keep in mind that this is a part of your life that needed a lot of work and focus since 2018. Not so much anymore, but in many ways, January is going to feel like an echo to a story that is very, very familiar at this point. In fact, there is a Capricorn new moon on January 13th. It's a time to set really powerful new intentions in the health and wellness department. Here's the thing about this new moon. It's exactly conjoined Pluto. Pluto has been in this part of your chart since 2008. I know it's like 13 years ago, if you can believe that. But Pluto has been in this part of your chart, and this has been 13 years of Pluto really sort of asking you that you dismantle a lot of kind of limiting or negative relationship that you have with your body, with health, how you take care of yourself, how you sort of get stable and grounded in your body. So this new moon is activating a much older story. And so just keep this in mind, start to pay attention to some of the themes that are coming up around the new moon with health and wellness and how you take care of your body. And if there's anything that you need to get rid of, like an addiction or an attachment, or really need to make some positive and lasting changes, like that's your new moon to really instigate these changes. That said, the other big news this month is that Mars finally changes signs. Mars is one of your kind of major planets. Mars has been in Aries for the last 6 months. I laugh because normally it's 6 weeks. 6 months is actually quite rare for Mars to be in one sign, but it had a retrograde back from September to November. Mars is a planet for you that talks about home and family. So over the last 6 months, it's, maybe there's been a focus on children, maybe there's been a focus on creativity, self-expression, identity. It's been in what's called your fifth house, the fifth room of your astrology house. Going into Taurus, not the fifth house, sorry, am I getting myself really, it's been in Aries. Sorry, Aries is your ninth room. Kind of got my rooms mixed up. Apologies, Leo. It's been in a part of your chart that talks about faith and truth and meaning. And so there's the past 6 months maybe has been very existential. Maybe it's touched on these kind of deeper themes around faith, these deeper themes around belief, the deeper themes around how you see yourself in the world and sort of the convictions you have and sort of the character you have and how you stand up for these things in the world. Now, Mars goes, or should I go like this, goes into Taurus on January 6th. Taurus is your career sign. So just taking Mars as part of the equation, Mars going into Taurus says that the next, January, there's going to be a lot of action happening in your career. New initiatives, taking action, new ambitions, but here's the bigger story. Think back to May of 2018, think back to March of 2019. These were 2 key months when Uranus went to Taurus. I mention Uranus because it's a big player in your career for in total of a 7-year chapter. A 7-year chapter that takes you to 2025, 2026. So even though Mars is now in Taurus and Mars is only going to spend 6 weeks there, it's joining up with Uranus that's been there since March of 2019. Here's what you need to know. Uranus is a planet of revolution. It's a planet of reinvention. It's a planet that is trying to get us out of our way. It once, because we get stuck, we have free will, we kind of work against ourselves, and Uranus is like, this is not who you really are, so I'm going to help you awaken to who you really are. But Taurus is your career sign. So you're in the midst of a career reinvention. It could mean that whatever you're doing right now, you love it, now let's make it bigger. Let's do it more out in the world, like open up to more fully of who you are on a professional level, scale up your ambitions, for example. But if you are, this is the example I often use, like if you're a lawyer and you're a lawyer because your parents were a lawyer and their parents were a lawyer, and you've been having some serious thoughts on that the past 2 years, well, here comes Mars. And here's the other thing, here comes Saturn, because Mars and Saturn are going to make what's called a square on the 13th of January. And this month, January 2021, there is very much a clash going on between the old and the new. Some stories that have already been set in motion, some new beginnings, but also something else. And so you're like trying to do like the stable conservative thing, but you're also trying to completely move things in a different direction. So it's going to create some friction in your professional life. It's going to create some friction in relationships, how you do things differently. So I know not all Leos are just completely doing something new in their professional life, but there is something that's changing. This is why I wanted you to go back to May of 2018 or March of 2019 to kind of find that thread. Because the idea is that if we were to come check in 2025, 2026, there's something that you're doing very different in your professional life. It could be bigger, it could be radically different, but it has to be you. So that's part of the friction this month. You versus something bigger, you versus like, how do you get out your way? How do you be you? How do you sort of reform or reorganize a lot of existing structures to create space for a lot of new things? Uranus is going to go direct on the 14th of January. So keep that date in mind, because things that are happening around that time do speak to a bigger story of change and revolution, awakening, transformation in your professional life. Mars will also square Uranus on January 20th. right at the day after the sun goes into Aquarius, we have the start of Aquarius season on January 19th. So there's some really, I have to be honest, there's some really tense astrology that's going on in January. And Leo, you're one of the signs that's really feeling the tension. So keep this in mind, especially as you go into the latter part of this month. Like I said, Mars is going to square Uranus on the 20th. Mars is going to conjunct Uranus. That again sort of activates this thing that's happening in your professional life. We have the sun joining up with Saturn on the 23rd of January, sort of the first time actually that we've had the sun and Saturn align in Aquarius since the 1990s. So just FYI. But so it really kind of kicks this Saturn and Aquarius story into full gear, which is about relationships, about new beginnings. Then we go to a Leo full moon. Hey, you're a Leo. So there's a full moon in your sign on January 28th. This kind of lights you up. This sort of puts the spotlight on you. Maybe something that you love, maybe something that you don't love. Not every Leo craves the spotlight. That said, this full moon really brings to a boil or a dramatic twist or whatever sort of metaphor you want to use, the story of the new versus the old that's been going on, or sort of in behind the scenes, but now it's kind of coming full to the next chapter in January 2021. Things could get very interesting in January. There could be change in direction. This could be like a plot twist. There could be people coming in, coming out. There could be new career things happening, but it's probably going to be one of those months, in that really opens up a theme that's going to be present throughout all of 2021. And Leo, you're just one of the signs that's really needing to make some changes this year. But Leo, you're a fixed sign. Fixed signs, they need to keep things fixed. That's their job. But then you've got these forces that are trying to get you to move. So you're going to feel some tension. You're going to feel some friction this month. But you have to sort of feel that courage and that bravery to keep doing something very different. The world we lived in 2020, the people we were in February of 2020 are not the people we are now, and it's not the person you are, Leo. So keep moving forward, keep transforming, keep opening up to this new way of doing things. So Leo, this is your look at January 2021. It's probably going to be a big month for you. So that said, be well, be safe. This is Katie Sweetman with Empowering Astrology. You can follow me at empoweringastrology.com for more astrology content. Bye.